talking.
This is going to sound pretty weird at the start of a Game of the Year video, but Kingdom Hearts 3 is not that good a video game. The combat's really mashy, it's overly long, and it even goes against its own mashy combat with the redundant use of the attraction system. And of course the story makes no sense unless you've played 11 other games, and that includes the remaster. But this is my Game of the Year list, alright? Mine! And I'll be damned if I didn't love playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 this year. If nothing else, this game is a journey. It's the conclusion, sort of a tale told over 17 years, and it carries you across several Disney worlds and original worlds, which quite frankly are gorgeous, with an incredible soundtrack and lots of that classic Kingdom Hearts dialogue.
For the virtual world to be completely realized, Ansem the Wise would have included Roxas's full data in the construction.
By that I mean a lot of talk of hearts and keys and darkness and individuals with silly names. But the game was a lot of fun for me. Seeing the resolution of this series that I've effectively grown up playing, for better or for worse, was a very powerful experience. I enjoyed seeing how they chose to end this arc of the series, and it was very satisfying and incredibly funny watching how goddamn stupid everything was. I can't recommend you play Kingdom Hearts 3. The people that would play it already have played it. The small bit of advice I can give you is to go listen to the spoiler cast that we did earlier in the year, and this will give you a glimpse at what I'm talking about. If you really must play through it, let me tell you about Kai back cover.
And at the end, you'll finally realize what destiny has in store for you. In fact, your reward might be right around the corner.
I've always been a fan of Remedy games in theory more than execution. Their brand of Twin Peaksian pseudo-horror set in a usually isolated location with a protagonist that has more power in that location than they would otherwise, all in a very well-written package, accompanied by bizarre twists and character interactions that compound the otherworldly nature of the setting that then feeds back into the writing. It's a nice self-fulfilling prophecy of a video game. Where it all falls down for me is usually the physically playing of the game. Alan Wake's light-based combat was an interesting concept, but in execution it led to a lot of frustration and a lot of hunting for batteries. Control is the absolute apex of the Remedy-style video game. Not only have they nailed their trademark location again, but have created a game that's actively fun to play while exploring it. The shooting feels good to use while combined with Jessie's otherworldly powers, leads to a game that's free and open to move around in combat while you're feeling exposed and dangerous to give the combat some edge. The key to Control, however, is its sense of mystery. Everything about travelling through the oldest house seeps with questions and drips with secrecy. You'll slowly start to unpack a lot of the mysteries as you move through, but there's an amazing sense that the game is not always telling you everything that it knows. And this can lead to such an amazing ambiance that carries all throughout the game.
Humanity affects this process. Our collective unconscious is a map of sorts. We hold the key, but we don't know how to use it.
I feel it could do a little better about telling you what's actually going on in the game, but I'm still happy with the direction they chose to go on, even if I think it leads to kind of a flat ending. I'm glad Control exists. It's proven something I've known for a long time but have had no evidence for. Remedy can make games that I want to play, and now I can't wait to see what they do next. Devil May Cry 5 is a game that knows exactly what it is. It's loud, it's shameless, it's fast, and above all else, it's dumb. Supremely dumb in the best possible way, and for that I absolutely love it. At its base, Devil May Cry 5 is one of the best character action games I've ever played. It achieves this by giving you 3 separate characters to play over the course of the game, each with their own skill set that feels like it has been pored over for years in terms of design. Nero with his robot arm switching provides a lot of flexibility in movement and combat. V has an entirely distance-based combat gameplay that is usually him in the backlines reading poetry while his shadow animals deal with all the fighting. And Dante, the legendary demon hunter himself, has a combat system so complicated and variant that I'm still staggered that it was both allowed to be created and not entirely overwhelming while being used. The game does such a good job of introducing its arsenal slowly, giving you time to incorporate everything into your rhythm and makes you feel like a demon-killing badass at all times. And then people start talking.
It already smells like gas.
That's you.
Everyone talks like they're 14 trying to outcool each other at the lunch table, and it leads to some ridiculous lines that would never work in any other video game.
Don't lose your tits. I see him.
But it's here, and it's amazing, and it suits exactly what the game is trying to do, especially in a game where you can skateboard on missiles. This is compounded by a soundtrack that's filled with the sort of angry singing and overdriven guitars that filled many an MP3 player during people's high school days. Go listen to the opening track if you'll see what I mean. Devil May Cry 5 is a joy to play all round, both mechanically and for just laughing at how ridiculous it is, and I love it so, so much. I thought the Battle Royale genre was going to pass me by. The idea of spending multiple minutes preparing, jumping out of a plane, looting, only to get sniped from across the map by someone I could never see, didn't sound appealing to me at all. I also think I'm past the point of cranking sick 90s like the teens these days. Then Apex Legends came out of nowhere at the start of the year, saying the developers of one of the best shooters ever made has made a Battle Royale for free, and suddenly I was very interested. In terms of hour played, this is my game of the year. I have spent over 100 hours dropping and dying and loving every second of it. The main reason I think Apex clicked with me is, first, the shooting just feels amazing. Every gun has its own strengths and weaknesses, and a myriad of attachments that can alter these to your personal tastes. For example, a recent gun that was designed to be a sniper rifle was found to actually be very good at close range with a specific set of attachments. Pair this with a system that has 11 champions, each with their own abilities and inherent gameplay systems that leads to no two games being the same ever. Every champion has their use, they're all fun to play, and picking your favourite depends entirely on who you are as a person. I'm also consistently impressed with their content updates. A solid battle pass every season, new champions, an entire new map that I much prefer to the original, helps means the game never really gets stale. They need to improve on their costing a little bit, but otherwise they're doing a stellar job of how to do a battle pass. Apex Legends is a fantastic game and available for everybody, so you can't ask for much better. Disco Elysium is the sort of game that really only comes out once a decade, it seems. I know this because the last time this game came out, it was called Planescape Torment, and that was 1999. This game has taken over my thoughts ever since I started it and hasn't left since I finished it. It burrows its way into your psyche with its incredibly clever writing, handling of very serious world topics, and true evolution of RPG gaming genres. This game is so important, and I feel everybody should play it now. Very rarely will a game present you with a situation where you have zero combat or any real confrontation ever. This is central to Disco Elysium. This is a murder mystery where you will spend 95% of your time in dialogue. Not just talking to suspects or witnesses to the murder, but talking to aspects of your own mind. Your entire skill tree details which part of your brain do you want to be better, more accurate, and speak up more in conversation. Do you want to hear how to argue correctly with suspects, then level up your rhetoric? Do you want to have a brain that tells you more how to be a good cop? Esprit de corps will help you. Do you just really like drugs? You've got electrochemistry there to be your best friends. This system is part of why Disco Elysium is such a revolution for RPGs. The game does not let you see conversation choices you can't make. The conversation becomes which of your skills are the highest to have insight at that moment, and it will speak up. This gives the game a lot more of a feeling of a tabletop RPG, where you're reacting on the fly to what's happening based on the player decision, not a pre-scripted sort of RPG. This game would completely fail were it not for the strength of its writing. Every piece of dialogue or internal thought is amazingly well realised, with sentences and mirrored by voice acting, which really show the personality of the individual and the gravitas of the situation at hand. It has such a master for control over its writing and pacing that is able to pull off some amazing changes in tone. A lot of the time is spent dealing with very serious topics of conversation. Political discourse, mental health breakdowns, class struggle, drug trafficking, many, many things. And in all of this, everything is dealt with a weight that is perfect for the situation, but then can also be darkly humorous when it needs to be. The writers have such a deft hand that they can find humour and wit in situations that you never thought there could be. Disco Elysium is absolutely staggering. It is possibly one of the best written games I have ever seen, or possibly will ever see. It's clever, it's funny, it's absolutely tragic at times, but above all else, it deals with topics that video games just don't. It has all of this in a dreamlike world with an incredible art style and a soundtrack that is compounded into this being the best video game of this year, bar none.
Hardcore! Ah!
Is it though? But is it? I mean, really? No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.